sun beat down on the dusty battlefield, baking the cracked earth to a shimmering haze. Not a single human soldier was in sight. Instead, a chaotic melee raged, a whirlwind of feathers, furious pecks, and surprisingly effective wing slaps. This was the Battle of Cluckington Ridge, and the combatants were chickens. General Henrietta, a Rhode Island red hen with a comb as red as a ruby and eyes like chips of obsidian, surveyed the carnage from atop a crumbling hay bale. Her army, the fearsome Fowl Brigade, was holding its own against the dreaded Wyandotte warriors, led by the merciless Colonel Cluckingham. Henrietta had spent months training her troops. They weren't your average chickens. These were chickens who knew the art of the feint, the power of the surprise peck, and the devastating effectiveness of a well-aimed wing buffet. They'd practiced formations, learned to utilize the terrain, and even mastered a surprisingly effective peck-and-run strategy. The battle was fierce. Sergeant Peckham, a brave but slightly clumsy Orpington, found himself surrounded by Wyandottes. He pecked with all his might, his little spurs flashing, buying time for his comrades. Meanwhile, Private Clucky, a tiny bantam hen with a surprisingly loud squawk, used her speed and agility to harass the enemy flanks, distracting the Wyandottes with a relentless barrage of feather-ruffling squawks. Colonel Cluckingham, a massive, imposing Wyandotte rooster with a crown of magnificent feathers, roared his battle cry, a deafening squawk that echoed across the field. He charged, his spurs glinting, aiming for Henrietta, but Henrietta was ready. She met his charge with a swift, precise peck to the eye, followed by a flurry of wing beats that sent him stumbling. The tide of the battle began to turn. Inspired by their general's bravery, the fearsome Fowl Brigade fought with renewed vigor. They used the uneven terrain to their advantage, pecking and dodging, using their wings to shield each other. One by one, the Wyandotte warriors fell, their mighty squawks replaced by defeated clucks. Finally, Colonel Cluckingham, battered and bruised, retreated, his army scattering in disarray. Henrietta, standing proudly atop the hay bale, surveyed her victorious troops. The Battle of Cluckington Ridge was won. The fearsome Fowl Brigade had proven that even the smallest of creatures, with courage and training, could achieve greatness. And as the sun set, casting long shadows across the battlefield, the victorious chickens celebrated.